How they had this all tied in together, you would have thought it was the season finale, but no, there's still more American Horror Story. I feel like that was an infomercial. Alright, so this is American Horror Story Roanoke. Right now it's my Roanoke Nightmare. It's going to be switching over to just Roanoke. So season 6, episode 5, technically chapter 5. And this is where we find out who's the actual man who built the house in the first place. His name is Edward. I forgot his last name, not important. But Edward, he was this rich guy who, he loved art, but he did not like people. He was a recluse. He was an introvert. And being an introvert, like I said, he loved art pieces. He loved sculptures. But when it came to people, the only person that he liked was his main slave. Now he goes into this art gallery, looks at all the pieces and thinks that it's beautiful. So he buys all of it. He's just like, go home, I'll bid you. And everyone knew him. So they knew that he had, well, his family had a lot of money. So he created this house because it was far away from society. So he could just be there, really more so by himself with his servants, as we know, his slaves, and just be at peace. Now, when he approached the home, and he was talking to his, I guess, his main house slave, whatever the guy's name is. I was like, something's not right here. Something is not right here. This guy, so the proximity that they exhibited, just the energy that Edward was giving off, period. I'm thinking, oh no. They always have to have one. They always have to have one. So I guess this was our one for, maybe not necessarily the season for this plot line. You know, there has to be a gay character somewhere. So we got ours, and it's Edward. And I saw it coming a mile away. That's the only problem I had. I'm like, I can see easily. Why him? Why him? It was weird to see him playing that role. But anyway, while this is all going on, the house is having a lot of freak accidents. You see this guy, he falls, and his right leg is broken. I mean, crap, snap, crackle, pop on that. And I'm thinking, ooh, this is already good. I was a little bit tired, but, you know, oh, Lord, this is good. So while I'm watching it, the slaves or the other, I guess you can say, help, they disapprove of his sexuality. The women were looking at him like, this little, yeah, because he's making out with his black slave, well, his light black slave, and he's getting him to paint him, and it's just like, this is going to be my masterpiece. Well, all of that's going on. Then they are in the tub and they're making out and doing all of this, and I'm like, okay, where is this going? Because at this point, this is just getting really weird. All of a sudden, we find out that all of his paintings, all of his art pieces that he bought, he wakes up from his slumber and realizes they're all destroyed. All destroyed, and he's over it. So now he has to go and see who did it. Who did it? And they're just like, no, it wasn't us. We saw a man and a woman with a cleaver. She was the one that came through and destroyed everything. I swear, I swear. So he said, you know what? Since none of you guys are telling me the truth, all of you except for Bay over there, all of you can go inside this hole. You can go inside this hole, and you're not coming out until I know the truth. I can't trust any of you. If you want to survive, oh, here's a not even half-eaten, an eaten apple. Share it amongst yourselves. You're welcome. And of course, you know, Edward was looking at his significant other. His significant other was pissed, looking at him like, really? Really? So while Edward was asleep again, alone this time, well, he was alone the first time, he hears a noise outside. He hears a noise, and again, it's the whole Roanoke crew. They're ready because a sacrifice must be made. And since he's the only one around, well, he's the one that they found. He's the main person. He's the one that bought this house that was built on their land. Now they have to die. They have to die. They have to die. I mean, he has to die. He has to die, so they go. They stab him. It was just like, oh, dang. They stab him, but I feel bad for him because he just put all those slaves in the brink, you know, underneath the ground. I'm not here for that. So they stab him, it goes right through him, and then they hoist his body and put it in the fire. Now, of course, his lover gets away and tells the story, but they didn't believe him. So what they did, because again, because he was a slave, they decided to lock him up and throw away the key. It was just like, nope, you did it. You're the one. This is where we're going to place all the blame. And then forget it once they saw all the dead bodies, because dude forgot to mention the fact that all of those slaves were held in captivity. Now, we're back in so-called present day, and Shelby and Matt, they're wondering, with Flora, they're wondering what are they going to do, because the Roanoke crew is outside ready to kill them. I'm thinking, they're not safe in this house. So they're walking. No, so Shelby's going and reaffirming to Flora that, you know, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. No, it's not. Why is it not? Because then we have, dang, we have this, it looked like it came from the ring. I'll have it on the green screen. I'll have it on the green screen. This thing that came from the ring out with the head all twisted, black hair, you know, ghostly appearance, doing the crab walk, spider walk, goes, yokes up Flora and drags her all across the house. I'm thinking, hello, go after her. Shelby goes after her. Matt's looking at the cars. I'm thinking, Matt, you're really worried about the escape plan when if something happens to Flora, there's no point in you even escaping. So the ring-looking chick lets Flora go, but you can see that she had her yoked up because she has bruises on her. Shelby's just like, I can't, oh my gosh, baby, you okay, you okay? I'm thinking, no, she's not okay. Now the house is fully infiltrated with all the spirits. The spirits are here to play. They're corporealized, so they're trying to go after them. You have the pig, you have the hunters, everyone is trying to kill them. But then Edward comes out of nowhere and says, do you want to live? Hello, I'm the original owner of the house. Do you want to live? All right, let's go. Let's go. So then they go. They follow him, initially a little reluctantly, but they're saying he wasn't giving off the same vibe that all those others were giving off. And Edward, as we know, he is a ghost. He tells his little story about he was the original owner and that he's trying to rest in peace. And with people actually inside the house, I'm not allowed to rest in peace because there's so much action. So he leads them out to the woods. He did it by leading out through the downstairs, because if you remember, he actually built a underpass underneath the house, like a catacombs, if you will. And he let them out of the house, so they're thinking they're safe in the woods. But then they're talking about how, you know, there's all different types of animals that are afraid of the light. Now, Edward had a light. He had a torch. Once Edward went, so did the light. Next thing we know, Shelby, Matt, Flora get knocked out. They get knocked out, and we're like, oh, Lord Jesus. But these can't be the Roanoke crew, because something seems a little bit off here. We were right, because what happens next, we see, what's his name, Will? It was bad. Will looked messed up. They took him, and he actually survived. He survived because they did some makeshift procedures to save him, and the people who originally, the hillbillies that originally came to try and take the land, they tried to take it because you should have just gave it to them. They tried to take the house because they didn't want anyone else occupying the house. They actually made an agreement with the Roanoke crew, with the butcher, that if we go and we secure your land and protect it and make sure no one disturbs it, you keep our family safe. Keep it safe as in you won't come after us, you won't try to kill us, because I guess they were part of the original settlers on that land and everything, all that. But well, not the original, but people who came after, and it was like, okay, let's make a deal. This is the same crew where actually, you know, the sons that were acting crazy and acting almost like they weren't human, yeah, they belonged to one of the hillbillies. And poor Will, he had his right arm and his right leg, not foot, leg, amputated. Because they're like, oh, well, you know, Mama was hungry. I'm thinking, oh, Lord, she's a cannibal. She is a cannibal. She's an animal and she's a cannibal. Mama comes out. She tries to offer them food. They're like, no, thank you. She's like, how rude. How come you're not accepting my food? I'm thinking, because it's trash. It's probably part of Will. Like, what's going on here? So she eats it. It's like, oh, God, this is disgusting. And I'm thinking, he's like, you know what? He tastes horrible. So he's not necessary. They go, They take, and again, they tell the whole story about the deal that they made with the butcher and how they're going to give them up in order to keep themselves safe. This whole time, I'm thinking, damn, you guys couldn't make some type of deal like that yourself? But no. It's like making a deal with the devil. It's like saying that C word that would have the spirits go away. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We finally see Lee again. Lee is talking with the police, and the police want to know, where is your daughter? You know, they think, of course, that you killed your husband and you're hiding your daughter so that you can go and escape and be with your daughter and never be seen again. She's like, I am an ex-police officer. I know what you're trying to do, detective. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Sorry. You have to let me go because you have no real evidence. There's no true probable cause. I need to be released. They release her. She looks at her phone and she sees, oh my gosh, Matt has Flora. So it's just like all the other texts make absolutely no sense, but that's alright because Matt has Flora, so now she has to go back. While everyone's being transported to the Roanoke crew, Matt goes and fights with one of the hillbillies who's pointing a gun at Shelby and Flora. And the gun does go off. Thankfully, it doesn't hit them. Matt's able to... Well, actually, Matt gets hit, but then Shelby's just like, I'm non-victim. She goes, kicks! Oh, that was a high kick. She goes, kicks, and kicks the hillbilly out of the car. The gun went off, and it actually hit the other hillbilly. The mom is pissed. And they try to go and hide. But the hillbilly that was kicked out of the car, they find him. I mean, he finds them. And of course, he still has the shotgun. So it's just like, now, no mercy. We're going to definitely bring you to, We're definitely going to bring you to the butcher. You guys are screwed. You guys are done for. And this is like, they're like, to make sure you don't run away this time, they went and smashed Shelby's foot. They smashed her ankle. Destroyed it. You see the cartilage, the blood, I'm like, damn. Really? She is not going anywhere. She let out this scream, and I was like, Sarah Paulson, I believe that. I believe that scream. I believe it, because I felt it. I felt it for you. Jesus. Okay. Alright. Let's reset for a moment. So now they're being delivered to the butcher, and, you know, it looks like all hope is lost. And a miracle happens. A miracle occurs because the cannibal, mom, she goes and she leaves with her son, and it looks like Flora's going to be sacrificed first. Priscilla is over it because she's like, wait a minute, you said she would be last. I'm saying last? What about not at all? But I guess if that's your friend, then that's the best you could do. So they're going to sacrifice Flora first. But then the butcher's son said, no more! He goes, hits her over the head, drags her into the fire. Drags her into the fire. And the other people were just like, thank God. Thank God this woman is finally gone. We see Edward, he goes and he unties everyone. It's like, you need to get out now. We see Pig Boy looking like he's about to attack Flora. I'm thinking, wait, is he going to really attack her or is he actually going to let her loose? I'm not sure because we don't really know him. He could be really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or not as bad as we think he is. The butcher is trying to chase after them. Lee goes, hits Pigman. She hits Pigman and she's like, get in. I'm guessing that was because she came with the sheriff because she let the sheriff know, some weird stuff is going on. They found Flora. Once the sheriff saw that there was all that commotion going on, he 86'd it out of there. It looks like the car that Lee originally came in was still there, but it was hidden. So she went and rescued everyone. And everyone's just saying how it was such a happy ending because they finally got to a hotel. They had no money, but they were able to get Shelby stitched up in a cast. Okay. And Shelby's sister's going to go and pay for the plane tickets for them to come home. Lee is with them. Of course, Flora's with them. And Shelby wants to go and take a shower, clean up. But Shelby, when she opens the door, she has this recurring nightmare. And she's always been having this nightmare ever since. That the butcher is still there. The butcher is more than alive because there's smoke coming from the bathroom door. and it was presumably the butcher, you know, not on fire anymore and ready to go and kill her. That was it. Again, I was like, dang, where are they taking this? Where are they taking this American Horror Story? Because now it's basically going to be reset again. And now it's just called Roanoke. American Horror Story Roanoke.